Welcome back to Unstable. I am Jeff Steckel, aka Big Stack. You can find me on pretty much any social X, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff, Facebook. Make sure you do a follow on there. Do the same here. Like, share, subscribe. We're chasing 100. We're currently, I believe, at 65. So help us pump those numbers up. You're already here. Click the button. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. I was on that Real Texas Team podcast, so that pod should either be up. I think it was live actually. So go ahead and hop over there, check it out, give them a like, share, subscribe as well. Got Justin with me, Kingmaker _ DFF. He's your fantasy guru, your fantasy expert. How you doing, man?
Doing pretty good, man. I don't know about expert, but definitely enthusiast. Hit me up on, like you said, tools. I'll be at the same tag. Any questions, start sits on the game day mornings, all that stuff like that. Hit me up. Let's talk, man.
Sure. Yeah, and while you're here, make sure you drop a comment. Obviously, we're talking about very important game coming up with the Texans that we'll both be at. Also, Mike over there on that Real Texas Team podcast will be there. He's in Houston. We're all in Houston, so we're gonna try to meet up, post as many videos and shorts as we can. So we'll be pretty active that Sunday morning. At least before we get blitzed and go into the game. So.
Oh yeah, Unstable's representing an energy.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Really excited for it. Trying to find some tailgating. So if you know any good spots or where you're going to be at, make sure you drop that in the comments too. We'll be around. I don't know what lots. So far, I've gotten blue, red, yellow, platinum. I can't go to all of them, man. I'm going to be on foot, but
yeah, we'll try. We'll try and stop by. We promise. But hey, we'd love to interact with you. If you see us, come talk to us.
Absolutely. So it's a very important game. The Colts lose this one. They go to 0-2 against the Texans, and they pretty much would have to rely on the Texans to tank in order to win the division. So this is a very important game. They only lost to the Texans by 2, so obviously it's something that's not impossible. Anthony Richardson last season, he looked good against him. He looked pretty good against him this year. He had some missed passes, but he also had that 7-yard bomb to Alec Pierce. So there was a lot of highs and lows in that week 1 matchup. But first thing, we're going to talk about the injury report, and it seems like the Colts are getting healthy at the right time. They've got it couldn't have come at a better time. We got this game. Obviously, we're not going to jump too far ahead, but we got the Vikings game coming up. That got flexed to Sunday Night Football. I don't want to get blown out on Sunday Night Football. We already know what happened against the Vikings last time. We don't want to repeat, and I sure as shit don't want that to be in prime time.
Hey, if our boys can shut down Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, I got a little faith. If all they have to do is control Justin Jefferson, I mean, let's not sneeze at Jalen Naylor and Jordan Addison. Okay, those guys are doing pretty good, right? But if you can control Justin Jefferson and let Addison and Naylor be the guys you got to worry about, I'm good with that. They gave me some confidence last time. I mean, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, those guys have world-breaking speed. So
yeah,
I've got some confidence in our secondary.
Absolutely, they have looked better. I'd still like to see Juju out there, but I think Jalen Jones has done a really good job. I think Womack's done good, especially after Dallas Flowers got the boot. So I think they've looked better. And they're going to need to. I mean, no Nico Collins for the Texans. He went on IR, but they still got weapons.
At the right time.
they got weapons. So it's CJ Stroud. If he has time, he can definitely deal. So
yeah, Tank Dell is still. I mean, I'm just gonna say he's a badass. All right, he can be a badass.
He hasn't really done much this year.
Continues and they don't figure this stuff out week 8 against the Colts.
I feel like this will be like a 12 catch day for Nico. I hope not. I hope not. But like I said, Colts are getting healthy right at the right time. EJ Speed had a knee problem. He's been full participant in practice. Ashton Doolin, Jonathan Taylor limited and then full, so it looks like he's a full go. Buckner was limited and full, so it looks like he'll be a go. Braden Smith, full. Michael Pittman, Chris Lammons, Brian Kelly, all full participants. So, and Josh Downs. So it looks really good. Like it's a long injury report, but if they're all participating,
yeah,
not a concerning injury.
Some of those injury tags can be kind of misleading to people who, like the casual fans who don't really understand. So, like, limited doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. So, limited could just mean like, hey, we're saving you for the game, right? They don't need to push them back, anything like that. So some of you viewers, you may not be as wired in as like myself and Jeff are. So just to give you some clarification, limited does not mean a bad thing. That just means that they don't want to take any risk of any soreness or anything like that that could lead to anything else in practice, unnecessary practice, especially for a player like, let's say, Pittman, who's was having some soreness, stuff like that. Why do that? So Taylor, like you said, like, so Colts fans, don't worry, it's going to be okay. They know what they're doing. It's okay.
Yeah. And even Michael Pittman and some of these vets, Ryan Kelly, if they got a full day Thursday, even if they don't participate Friday, unless if they're ruled out of the game, chances are it was a rest day. They'll probably go Sunday. I mean,
your seasoned vets, that's a vet day or whatever they have their special days. Yeah.
Especially Jonathan Taylor and whatever. Like if they were limited full, and I think they've already been upgraded to healthy. Unless if they have a serious regression, I don't think there's really a chance that they miss. So even if they don't participate Friday, it's probably just that rest day. They don't want Jonathan Taylor to aggravate his ankle, that kind of thing. Even if it's limited,
there's no doubt that Jonathan Taylor's going to play.
Yeah.
Now maybe for fantasy, I'd probably like, if you have another option, right? Because we always see like players coming back from injury immediately. It's not, you want to be cautious, right? But he'll play. He's gonna play.
My option is Trey Sermon behind him. I'm not starting Trey Sermon over. Not a chance.
No, not this week. Yeah.
But
I mean, you can. We're playing each other in our network league. So
bottom of the barrel in that league. See, that's why I hate fantasy football. Let me pull this up real quick because I'm not too bad in scoring points. As you all know, if you play fantasy football, it's really all about the luck in the matchup. There was one year in one league I was
all luck.
Second worst score in the league, and I finished second place. So it is what it is. But I see the standings in this league. So frustrating. Let me see, because it had.
Yeah, this is we're using Sleeper on this league, and Sleeper's done really well. It's a good format. So if you're in a league, you're looking to change, go check Sleeper out. We're not getting paid for this, but go check Sleeper out. It's a quality product.
Yeah, and Sleeper, if you're out there, make sure you throw a few bucks. It's a good app. It's been useful, but for I have the second most points scored against me. There's no such thing as fantasy defense. I can't do anything about that. That's trash.
Yeah.
I think I'm like second.
That's not great.
I've had 900.
I had a season. My worst season I ever had every week, and I went back and looked because I was like, there's no way this is true. Every week, my opponent scored the highest points they scored all season.
In there. Okay. Yeah. So I'm at 1-6. My team has been beaten up. There's another guy though, Suck It Todd. I'm not sure who that is, honestly. But they're 2-5, and they've scored the most points in the league.
Yeah, tell me how that makes sense.
It's what it is, man. That's fantasy football is a frustrating thing. This is probably the worst I've ever done in fantasy. It's rough. Oh well. But yeah, the injury report's looking good, and obviously Anthony Richardson is going to get the nod. Not sure how I feel about it. I mean, I want him to get reps, just like everybody else. I want to see what we've got in him. And I'm sure that's why the coaches have stuck with him. We know what Flacco has. We know what he brings. He's pushing 40. He's been in the league a really long time, so we know what Flacco is, and we know he's not the future. We can rule that out. He might.
I don't think anybody thinks that Flacco's a long-term answer. Yeah, I think you're safe on that. But I mean, the franchise. Yeah, and you're right. There's a controversy. I mean, a lot of people want to see Flacco play because they feel like he's the best option to win right now. But on the flip side of that coin, how is Anthony Richardson going to get more experience if he doesn't get in-game experience? It just sucks that we're having this dilemma Texans week. They're really the only threat in the AFC South right now to the Colts.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's a conversation you got to have.
and Colts fans are very fickle. I sometimes put myself in that boat. We're 4-3, and we're what, a game out of leading the division. So it's
Yeah.
or tying the division, and we're still start Flacco, start Anthony Richardson. We're at each other's throats. Like, yeah, Flacco has put up better numbers passing this year. There's no denying it. There's no,
Yeah.
and even we talked about
But
it
he's a
on
different
the
type of quarterback, though, too. We have to be fair in that regard to Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson wasn't touted as a great pocket passer or anything like that. He was touted as a phenomenal athlete with great arm strength. Not anything Joe Flacco, but Joe Flacco is more of your prototypical pocket passer. So he's going to favor the passing game. So you lean your playbook towards that. So I don't think that's a fault on either guy. But I think you gotta look and see what defense are we playing, what are our strengths right now. We talked about Jonathan Taylor coming back, so that means if Jonathan Taylor had really good numbers with Anthony Richardson because you have that dual threat in the backfield. So, I mean, Anthony Richardson, Joe Flacco for Week 8 against the Houston Texans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And honestly, just based on what I've seen the last couple of matchups with the Texans, I've liked what I've seen out of Anthony Richardson. He looked really good last season. He played a half before he got hurt with that concussion. He looked good. He really did. And he was completing 60% of his passes. He had what, two or three touchdowns. I can't remember. I don't want to look back at the stats. Y'all can do that on Google. Do your own job. But he looked good in that game. He also didn't look terrible. I mean, he looked pretty good against the Texans. I mean, this year, again, he had some really, really good deep passes. That 70-yard pass was retardedly good. Under pressure, and it was a beautiful pass. It just was.
Yeah.
So we've seen the potential of what he can do, but there's a couple of things to look at. The Colts defensively got absolutely demolished by Joe Mixon. And Joe Mixon he's been really good this year outside of that Colts game. So Gus Bradley is going to have to, I'm tired of saying it, stop bringing four. Stop it. Stop bringing four. They're going to use a fullback. Mixon's going to run behind it. So you're already playing behind him. If you're only bringing four, you're already going to get beat. They got to do more. And as we've all seen, CJ Stroud, he doesn't do well under pressure. When he's under pressure, it's bad. He did not look good last week. I think it was 80-something yards. It was a
if CJ Stroud showed you a chink in his armor, expose it. Go after him. Because at the end of the day, he's still a young guy. I mean, he's year 2. Let's not forget he win offensive rookie of the year. Mm-hmm. But let's not forget that he's still in year 2. You can frazzle these young guys. So go do it, Gus Bradley. Come on.
Like, I don't mind if that four man is kind of where the base is, but if it's not working and it's not getting home and Joe Mixon kind of starts out, you've got to adjust fast. He's got to do it. Yeah. He's got to stop.
There's no wait to make halftime adjustment. No, make the adjustments live in game.
First drive. If they're not getting home with 4, you got to bring 5, got to bring 6. I'm okay getting beat, and I've said it over and over. I'm okay getting beat. Secondary isn't where you want it to be. I'm okay getting beat just so long as you're in CJ Stroud's face and you just make him nervous. Make him hear the footsteps.
Yeah, make him make a play, right? Yeah. You gotta get in his face, man. If you're in his face and you're hitting him every time, but yet he's doing some crazy Patrick Mahomes stuff, there's nothing you can do about that. As long as you're in his face, right?
Yeah, that's fine. Because eventually he'll make a mistake. Like if you keep making him throw like that and you keep making him do that, he'll make a mistake. And then you also have to capitalize on that mistake. There's been a lot of times the Colts have forced quite a few turnovers, and they haven't really done anything with it. That's going to be the other big thing because they got that fumble last week against Miami, and they did get it even their territory. They did score. But I was saying, I'm like, man, they're going to throw a pick here. Or they're going to fumble. Like, they're not going to do anything. They finally did. But I think on the previous turnover, 3 and out, punted it right back. Just at least get a first down. The defense just did you a favor. You couldn't even keep them off the field for a few for a few minutes. Got to help out your defense. Got to play complementary. Can't give it right back to the offense after you forced a turnover. You got to capitalize at least on field position. Got to do something.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, if you're getting turnovers, try and get 3 at least, or at least amazing field position. Yeah, I mean,
at least put him deep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not displeased on how the defense is going. I mean, we just saw last week we had a backup come in and had 19 total tackles. Like, come on, man! Like, you got to be happy with that for backups coming in there leading the league in tackles.
Let's pump the break out. That was Grant Stewart or whatever came in for EJ Speed.
Yeah, man, he looked good.
He was a tackling machine. I'm not going to deny he had a great game. He's just not as fast as EJ Speed.
No.
He's just not as fast.
But that hair was just everywhere. I mean, everywhere you look, okay, boom, there's the fluff, you know?
Apparently, I saw in a Colts forum that a guy said that Grant Stewart should start over EJ Speed. He said that to EJ Speed on X.
Oh,
and
my God.
Got blocked by EJ Speed.
Dude.
You stupid ass.
Yeah, that guy needs to just calm down, okay?
And
no coach is playing Stewart over Speed.
No.
And now, like we talked about in the recap show, like he definitely made a case for more snaps. Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Not starting over Speed. Sorry.
And I love the comments on that thread because everybody was, I'd have blocked you too, you dumbass. Like you're telling him that they should lose.
Hot takes are one thing, but don't be stupid.
Like it's one thing to argue and debate over Anthony Richardson and Joe Flacco. I get both arguments. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I've said it before. I want to see Anthony Richardson succeed. I want to see more of what he did last season. I want to see more of what he did in that first game. He's got to get better with that accuracy. He's got to protect the ball. Like like we said, he almost overthrew Alec Pierce on like a drag route hit where he's 2 yards away. He almost overthrew him on that. It's like calm down the jitters. Just make the play. And I don't know if it's like there's pressure getting to him or if it's coaches in his head. I don't know. The fear that Joe Flacco might start over, like put all that shit aside.
Well, I mean, if you remember what Richardson said, it was week 1 or week 2, where he realized he was having a lot of this stuff, and he said he just gets so excited. He has a receiver open, and he just wants to hurry up to get the ball out. He himself admitted like he needs to calm down and just make that easy routine throw instead of just getting that excitement,
Yeah.
So I mean, he did well against Houston in week 1. I mean, so not his completions to attempts, but he had 212 yards, 2 touchdowns. So he didn't do bad. But if we can get those completions up, then you should see. I don't see why he can't have 280 yards and still maintain those 2 touchdowns, but bring that 1 interception he had down. To be a little bit more safe with the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've said it. I mean, the Colts have lost their three games by a combined 11 points. So it's not like they've gotten blown out. I mean, the defense let up a shitload of yards to Jacksonville. Well, they've just generally let up a shitload of yards. But they also let up a lot of points to Jacksonville. And they've been a bend, don't break, and they broke horribly against Jacksonville. But, I mean, they've all been really close games, and really it's just been a few plays. They were, I think, at a Donnie Mitchell touchdown away from winning against the Texans. They were a few completions away from beating the Packers. Like it's not like these games were just out of reach, unbeatable. Like they blew it from the get-go and never won it. It's never been the case. And the games they've won, they've been ugly, but they've won, and that's all you can really.
I mean, in the league, it's not required. It's not the NFL says, "Oh, you have to win pretty." It's not a requirement. You just have to win, baby. In
college, they don't rank you if you win 70-0. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you win 24-23. It doesn't matter if you win 70-0 that same game. It's all based on win and loss. So I'll take them.
And just getting in the playoffs, everything restarts over when you're in the playoffs. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, any team. Just look at like the Giants with Eli Manning. Like they got in wild card, last team to get in, and they just got hot at the right time. So.
Went on a run,
And we talked. I think the Ravens were the wild card team too, with Joe Flacco on their Super Bowl run. So it's.
Yeah, I think they were.
It doesn't matter. You get there, and everything changes. So.
Yeah, that was a pretty solid run. I think Alex touched on that last time when we were talking about Joe Flacco and how good of a run he had in the playoffs that year when he won Super Bowl MVP.
Like everybody, like of course we're Colts fans. Peyton Manning, he went on some incredible runs regular season. There was that huge victory over the Patriots to go in that championship game. There's been a lot of great memories of Peyton, but man, one of the most memorable playoff runs outside of Indianapolis was that Joe Flacco run. Like it was beat Andrew Luck, beat Peyton in Denver, beat Brady in New England, and then had to go on to beat the like. It was probably one of my favorite runs. Just watching that it'll be one of my fondest memories aside from the Colts Super Bowl run. So it was a hell of a run. But back to the Texans, Joe Mixon, stop him, please.
Yeah, you're gonna have to learn those lessons from week 1, right? I mean, he ate us up. They gave him 30 carries against us week 1. He had 159 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
That cannot happen again, Gus Bradley. That cannot happen again. You've got to contain him. Okay. Joe's coming in with a big head, like, oh, I ate these guys up. Let's go eat again. Mm-hmm. Can't let him do that again.
Can't let him
shut him down first quarter, set the precedence that you're not putting up with that shit, and about your business for the rest of the game.
The biggest issue was their controlling of the clock, as Joe Mixon was able to do whatever the hell he wanted. They controlled the ball for 40 of the 60 minutes. That can't happen again.
No.
If the Colts are going to win this game, it needs to be that 50-50 split timeshare, or even hell, I'd like to see the Colts have the ball for 40 minutes. That'd be nice. And it's possible with Jonathan Taylor. Just so the Colts really need to lean on the strength of their team, and their strength is they got one of the best offensive lines in football.
Mm-hmm.
And healthy, Jonathan Taylor is one of the best backs in the NFL. I don't know if he's the best. First of all, he's got to stay on the field more often, but. And of course, same thing with McCaffrey. I mean, he's probably the best in the league when he's on the field. There's rumors that he might not play.
Availability factor, yeah.
Yeah. So be on the field, but when he is there, he is one of the best backs. He's a physical runner. He's a very agile runner. Like I don't know anybody that I haven't seen too many backs that can get north and south, but east and west like as quickly as he can. Like he's got a quick cut, and he's a physical runner. He'll lower his shoulder and put you on your ass too. So
yeah, and he did well. I mean, I would say he did phenomenal against Houston week 1, but he did well. You know, he had 48 yards, but he also had the touchdown as well. Yeah. They didn't feed him as much. He only had 16 carries, but that shows you that he can do at least that. At least, yeah. I think I would expect to see more Jonathan Taylor, depending on how they feel about him coming back from his recent injury, right? So that would be something to look at. Well, yeah, I don't doubt that he's going to be like good to go, right? But we are not there. We don't know. We're not in the building. We don't know if he's like 100%, 90%, whatever. But I think even an 80% Jonathan Taylor is better than all but maybe 3 other running backs in the league right now. So I still think you feed Jonathan Taylor and you feature him.
Like I'm a little
confused.
Works,
right? We've seen it every time he plays. Jonathan Taylor is your offense.
Yeah. And I've been really confused with his injury because they said when it happened and he had that high ankle sprain, whatever, mild, that he could have come back into that game. But they were like, oh, we didn't really need him, whatever. So but if we needed him to play, he could have. Okay, well, for precaution, we kept him out the next game. And then like 2 more games happened. So what? Was he that injured? Not injured? Were you just trying to be like, oh, it was more serious, and they just didn't want to say it because at this point,
yeah.
I mean, if he misses, he's not going to. But if he missed this week, you should have just put him on injury reserve. So if it was that bad, like why?
Well, I feel like if it was any worse, then we would have looked at bringing in some outside talent. Now Goodson was serviceable last week. Don't get me wrong. But your offense is designed around the running back, so you can't design your offense around a Goodson or a Sermon. All due respect to those guys in their own right, but I'm sorry, guys, you're not Jonathan Taylor. When they specifically designed the offense around a player, but man, who are they going to go get?
And there really ain't much out there. They had what's his name, Penix
You
on the
have to go
practice squad.
make a trade or something like that,
Um,
right?
yeah, and I've been making fun of it, man. That poor just to bring it back, that poor Spencer Schrader. We talked about it on the last. But that dude got yo-yoed like 2 more times this week. He got
Yeah.
back to the practice squad, and then they released him again. Like that poor dude.
You called, man. That's so funny. You called it and talked about that. That's hilarious.
He's been
Hey,
yo-yoed all year.
you know what just come to mind? A good guy. If Taylor were to go down like for significant time or whatever, and we're still looking pretty good. Tyler Algier playing behind Bijan. They just got the kid from Alabama in the draft. Is it McMillan or something like that? But Tyler Algier's not bad. I mean, the kid was
Yeah,
1,000-yard rusher his rookie year, so let's not. There's somebody to trade for. I don't think he would cost you much,
probably not. Ballard has a history
but
of not
let's hope it
making
didn't
too many
come to
moves.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. You know what? Let me take that back. I don't want to put that out in there either like that. Come on, but
Luke,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to put that out there.
I don't know.
But no, Jonathan Taylor is going to be full go, man. It's we should see a heavy dose of JT, and I'm happy about that. I love it when JT's out there.
Yeah, I usually say that 20 to 30 touches when it comes to Jonathan Taylor. I don't know if I want to see him running the ball 30 times between the tackles, but passing game, like we know he had a drop. I mean, it was kind of, it was a little bit of a high pass. There was one that probably heard the footsteps, and he was probably going to get lit up on that play. Whereas, a couple of catches that should have been catches that were not, but one was a little high. One, he was going to get lit up. I don't think it mattered, but yeah. When I say 30 touches, I mean like 22 carries, 4 or 5 receptions. That's kind of 20 carries, 8%. That's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. And that should be the gimme plays for Anthony Richardson. Those should be the rhythm ones, just to kind of get into that. Okay, I can make the short passes. Now I can start pushing the ball a little bit downfield. You got to have those in there, because if you start trying to throw it deep, he's not hitting it or they're dropping it. It kind of messes with the young quarterback's mentality. So you got to get him into those rhythm passes. And they did it so well. It's a preseason game, I think, against the Bengals, where they had that really good first drive. He hit Mitchell real quick. He had everybody involved, marched down the field. I haven't really seen Steichen do an offense like that since then. I mean, there's been big plays, but there's not been a whole lot of consider. I guess he lagged out on us, but he'll probably be back. But yeah, I haven't seen any drives like that consistent since, Joe Flacco, but not from Anthony Richardson. So they really got to get Anthony Richardson into those rhythm passes, get him established on the short passes. That's where he struggles the most. Get him going, and you have to get him going with Jonathan Taylor. I'm excited to see those two on the field healthy together. This whole season, there he is. Yeah, we haven't really seen a whole lot of Anthony Richardson and Jonathan Taylor together, even this year. They're finally healthy, and they'll be back again against Houston. Jonathan Taylor has a history of owning the Texans, so we hope that continues. And hopefully it can help. Hopefully it can help AR kind of get into that rhythm where he's completed. All I ask for is like 55 to 60% completion. That's all I'm really asking. Because if he had those numbers and those few losses, probably win the game. Like if you just had those few more key completions, Adonai Mitchell doesn't drop that third down. Like just you got to help him out.
Yeah, he's there. You're right. He's got all the numbers and all the stats show. Like, man, a few more here, a few more here, and you're golden. And just like you mentioned earlier, that could mean the difference between winning that game and losing that game. And with Jonathan Taylor, dude, 20 touches, that should be perfect.
And he, like we said, Colts lost by 2. He had Adonai Mitchell wide open on the sideline and just overthrew it, just missed him.
Yeah.
It's like, he wanted that back. He was kind of hitting his head on his helmet, like, damn, dude. He's like, you missed it. You don't get much more open than that in the NFL.
Well, and like we touched on the last show, AD Mitchell is starting to catch more of those. Yeah. So, because he had a few drops early on in the season, he had a couple significant ones against Houston, but he's cleaning that stuff up. So now maybe those couple catches that he should have made it would have put us up in good field position. Now those get catched, those get caught, and set us up for at least 3 points, field goal range, what have you. So a lot of positive things to look at. I mean, the team is definitely growing. I know we had huge expectations at the beginning of the season, but I think that was just all the shiny new toys and everything like that, But so look to have better field position, a couple more catches, just like you said, a couple more catches, a couple more completions by the quarterback. So we'll be okay.
I sure hope so. I don't want to see. They need to get a fast start. They need to, whatever their opening drive is, they need to sustain that drive. You don't want to give momentum to Houston in Houston. I mean, we've been to games here. They can be loud, quiet that crowd down, sustain a drive, kind of just take them out of the equation. And hopefully all you hear is us screaming. I'll be up in the rafters, but
I'm going to be obnoxious. Let the Colts do something. I'm going to piss so many people off. So many people.
Shut up. No.
Yeah.
I only get to see him once a year. Get it. You guys can see him 8-9 times a season. I only get to see him once. Fuck off.
Yeah.
But I will say though, every time I've seen a game in Houston, every time I've been, they take a little smack, but that's football. It's always been cordial. It's always handshakes and stuff after the game. Like the last game we went to, I actually had really good seats. A buddy of mine got from his job. They were at like the 45-yard line, like 9 rows back. Oh,
ooh,
nice. Probably the best seats I've ever had to an NFL game. And yeah, they tied that game. It was the Matt Ryan year. It was indicative of how that season was going to go. But once Lovie Smith, Blankenship had a horrible game. I think it was his last as a Colt, and missed the overtime field goal. And then Lovie Smith freaking punted the ball. Basically, yeah, we're just going to tie.
I hated how that worked out for Blankenship, man. I liked him in college.
I like Steckel.
You see those goggles just run on the field in Georgia, and you're like, okay, this guy's he was money in college.
Mm-hmm.
He's like little bitty scrawny kid. Do you ever see the graphic with Blankenship and then DK Metcalf? Like both these men play in the NFL. Rodrigo Blankenship could pass for a junior high kid, and he's out there scoring points in the NFL. Then you got monster DK over here, just abs down to his ankles.
But man, it was what a lot of fans didn't know that a game could end in a tie. Of course, we know that it can, but a lot of fans didn't know. So they were just, as soon as it ended the hit clock at 0, I was like, me and my buddy Mark, we were like, God, are you fucking kidding me? And then all the fans like, oh well, thanks for coming to the game. I'm like, everyone was just, are they serious right now? There's not another
chant. One more chance.
So it was like, so I turned around. I was like, nobody lost.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a plus side. You got to look at it to a tie.
We were all high-fiving. I was high-fiving Texans fan. It was fun. Like it, shaking hands, whatever. And it's like, we'll get you next time. And we both still sucked, but
I had a bet going that season too. Like whoever won the series, but that tie kind of screwed us because we're like, what do we do now? And it sucked because it was Texans Colts week 1. And then Texans Colts week 16. So we're sitting here like, or week 17, excuse me. And we're like, this sucks. So now we got to wait all season long just to see who's going to win. It's not like one guy could talk shit the whole season.
Like, well, we were both terrible. All right.
Yeah.
But this
shouldn't be that. This game should not be that. There's a lot of firepower on both sides. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're on the fortunate side of it that they're missing Nico because Nico killed us last time. He only had 6 catches, but he had 117 yards.
Yeah.
Without that, 8 targets, so that's not bad. I mean, he caught 6 of his 8, but look at the other options we're going to have to worry about. Yeah, right. But look at the other options that they got. They're going to have Tank Dell, who I love Tank Dell, and Stephon Diggs. But Mixon's no slouch out of the backfield either. So you can't stick up your nose at Joe Mixon as a pass catcher just because he ate you up on the ground.
I'm nervous about Diggs, man. Like he's still got some of it, man. He's still good.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't see
Tank
them
Dell hasn't.
using him deep like he has been historically, you
Yeah.
know. So I wonder if they're seeing like, okay, maybe he doesn't have it in the downfield speed, but he's definitely eating teams up underneath and with your crossing routes and even quick slants and stuff. So you definitely have to look out for Diggs. But if I'm them, I would think Dell would be the guy that I'm scheming to get open,
Yeah.
just because he's my young talent. I mean, dare I say, the new Stephon Diggs? I don't know. Is that too
Maybe.
bold?
I don't know, man. Tank Dell hasn't done a whole lot this year, so I can't. I don't know
Not
if I
this
could say
year,
that right
but he
now, but
can.
he
Just the
could.
potential that he has, kind of what I'm more leaning towards,
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I don't know if I'm too nervous about Dalton Schultz. He hasn't done a whole lot this year. But yeah, like you said, Joe Mixon out of the backfield, and just gotta stop him.
Yeah.
He should be the one circled like this. You stop like the first objective needs to be stopping him. And I think if you're
Yes,
in the
learn your
backfield,
lesson.
I think if you're in the backfield, whether it's for Mixon or Stroud, if you shut him down, it's only good things, man. Then you make them be one dimensional. You keep bringing pressure, Gus. When when it's working, don't deviate back to your prevent defense bullshit that you like to do. Keep
Yeah,
doing it.
yeah. With Collins out, like as much as I talk about Tank Dell's talent, and then we talk about what Stephon Diggs still is, I don't think they're beyond man on man, right? So that allows you that spy or maybe keeping that eye, because we don't really have to worry about CJ Stroud taking off like an Anthony Richardson would, right?
Right.
So you can use that extra linebacker or that extra safety, whoever you want to bring in as your spy for Joe Mixon, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that way you have some help, and he doesn't eat you up again for 159 yards like last time. So no Nico Collins is definitely going to help our defense a lot.
Sure.
So no other receiver is going to come in and get those 117 yards that Nico had week one. There's not, I mean, was Xavier Hutchinson going to get that? Now, John Mechie, I like John Mechie, don't get me wrong, but these guys aren't going to come in and put up Nico numbers. So
We
our
hope not.
secondary should have a pretty good, man, I'm going to be bold right now, and I'm going to say our secondary is going to lock down the passing game.
I hope so. It'd be really nice. I mean, granted they
They
played.
did to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, bro.
Look at the quarterbacks, though, man.
I mean, yeah, but
It,
it's not like Tyreek and Waddle were open all game, though.
yeah.
So they did a good job scheming them. I think they're gonna keep that going into this week, because we're playing, inferior receivers than we did last week. So, like I said, I'm gonna be bold. I'm gonna call it. I think our secondary shuts down Houston's wide receivers.
I hope so. I'm a
Like
little
you
less
said, focus
optimistic,
on Mixon.
but I'm a lot more looking at Buckner being back. Quiddy Pay's there. Obviously, Grover's there. Latu started to get another sack, so he's kind of getting going.
Pressure.
He's gotten a lot of pressure. It just hasn't translated
Yeah.
to the stats, but it finally did last year.
You're saying those names, and in my head, all I can just see is those guys in Stroud's face, bro.
If you've got Buckner and Quiddy Pay on one side, either you gotta put like two on Buckner, because that guy, he can rack up the sacks. He's a menace in the rushing game.
Oh yeah,
man. If Latu was running around with just one guy to beat, because that defensive line has been beaten up, and he's had two on him.
Mm-hmm. And the Texans' offensive line is not good. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's be very clear about that. They are not good, not even close to good. Great. So our defensive line should eat them alive.
I hope so. I want to see like 5 or 6 sacks on Stroud.
They got 4 sacks last time.
No, I'm saying I want to see 5 or 6. I want to see
5. Hey, why not? Why not? Because you got to think, when we played them last time, Latu was still coming into his own. He's still the rookie. Well, he's been progressively getting better every week. So why not? Why can't those 4 turn into 5 or 6? I'm with you, dude.
Bold statement. Latu gets 3.
You heard it here first.
Let's do it, baby. Let's go, Latu. You do it, and I'm buying a jersey.
Yeah. ESPN, if I hear you taking our takes, we're gonna have problems.
We're gonna have a big problem. He's saying he should. I'm saying they get after Joe Mixon. I'm hoping they keep him under 75.
Yeah. I'm with you. Let's focus on Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
Make Stroud be that rookie of the year that he was last year. Yeah. Make him.
I don't want to see any of those big runs.
No, because that kills your defense.
A-Chain even look good. They just, again, every time that A-Chain had a good run, Mostert comes in and fumbles. They just kept shooting themselves in the foot. But A-Chain still looked really good, and he gashed the Colts a few times. So it's not like the Colts have really cleaned up their rush defense. It's the other team was just imploding, and the Colts just were the benefactor of that. So they need to force the mistakes, because you can't count on Joe Mixon doesn't make many mistakes. He's a really good runner, and it's hard to get him to fumble it. You just got to shut him down. You just got to be in his face. You got to lay him on his ass. That's all you really got to do.
Yeah,
it's a lot easier said than done from here. But
I think you mentioned on the last show about something I just thought about is Anthony Richardson in the offense. When he takes off and run, we talked about how ugly his sliding is, and how he doesn't need to be taking a lot of hits. I'm with that. I want to lead with that. I'm with that. Protect yourself if you're supposed to be the franchise quarterback. But I'm kind of okay with the design runs and all that stuff. I think we mentioned week 1. We did actually using both of those guys as your dual threat on each one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all right with having, let's say, give Anthony Richardson 10 carries. If we're good with JT getting 20, then set some up design for Richardson. Of course he's going to scramble and do his thing because, he's an athlete and that's what he does. Right. And we love that. I would want both of them. I'm cool with both of them. Just take over on the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, if we don't really have to pass because we're eating them up on the ground, hey, I'm cool with that too.
I said on
because we talk about Richardson's still learning as a passer, right? I mean, and I hate that because I love Richardson, but man, do what you're good at, man. Go out there and be a baller, bro.
I said when I went on that Real Texas Team podcast, I was like, man, what I kind of want to see is like a Bill Belichick offense. You remember that game where I think he had one pass call in the entire game. All he did was run the ball the entire game.
Oh, who were that?
I can't remember. I had the number 1 receiver. I started in that game. I was like, Bill, you son of a bitch. Can you give me one catch?
But what's funny is historically, Patriots running backs have been so untrustworthy historically in fantasy football. You can't trust them.
Mm-hmm. So, no, I took one of the I started one of the receivers. I had a lot of people on a bye, so I picked up the Patriots wide receiver. He threw the ball one time. They won the game, and I'm like, it's like, Bill,
isn't that crazy? You can still win the ball game with one catch.
Yeah, it was.
Or one pass, excuse me.
Yeah, I think he threw like one attempt in that game, and it was like, I hate you so much, Bill.
Tell me your quarterback sucks without telling me your quarterback sucks.
Talk about having no faith in your quarterback. Nah, just keep running the ball.
Yeah, if you're that quarterback, you're like,
inside handoff.
Like, at what point do you like, I think it's me?
I think I'm the problem.
Yeah.
Inside handoff.
Coach want me to pass the ball? Hand it off. Actually, Bill doesn't talk. Bill just looks. Like,
how do you know you're about to get fired? Inside handoff for the 48.
Yeah, one pass attempt. That's how you know you're about to get cut.
But yeah, I'm not saying to that extreme, but I do want to see a lot of passing.
I'd love to see Richardson get some opportunities because we talked about already that he needs to get those game reps, because that's the only way you get better is having those live game reps. So take some chances if we got a lead, let's start slow and get some underneath stuff, some shorter stuff, some slants. Let's work AD Mitchell in, start making him a threat, work Josh Downs. We've got 4 great weapons, right? And I know some people are, AD doesn't look good. Bro, AD's going to be fine, okay? He'll be okay. But you got Pierce has been killing it in the deep ball. I mean, there's no other way to put it. He's just been killing the deep ball. All the dude does is catch bombs. So you got Downs and AD that can work underneath, and then Pittman does literally everything else. Pittman can do he can run every route. His route tree is unlimited. I'm pretty sure he's making up routes out there on his own. But oop de oops or whatever, But do it, man. Like Richardson, brother, calm down. If they're open, calm down. It's like some comedian told heard a joke. Yeah. I heard a comedian talk about a joke. He's talking about a dog, chasing a car. Well, what happened if that car ever stopped? Like the dog wouldn't know what to do. I feel like it's funny because I feel like that's Richardson, because it's like, oh my god, I'm so excited. Oh wait, he's open. Like chill out, buddy. Chill out. It's okay. Let them make a play. You don't have to be the star. Let them make a play.
We've all been there. Like I remember when I played baseball. Like I was playing first. I actually made a really good play on it. Pitcher came over, had the runner beat by a mile, and I flung it way off target. Went fired into the dugout. I was like, son of a bitch! Like, why did you call the throw down? You had him beat. If you just lobbed it, I was like, I don't know.
Oh yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah, it happens.
All been there. Get so excited.
Yeah, it's rare in the NFL that someone's ever that open, and I can understand the jitters, but it's happened a lot. Like he's overthrown quite a bit. Like it's
he's also gonna have to get used to it. So in college, wide open is all the time. Wide open is 5 yards, 10 yards. That happens all the time. In the league, 3 yards, you're open. Or I mean, not even 3 yards. Like I would even say 2 or 2. Let's say 2. That's wide open in the NFL. Yeah. You're gonna have to get used to that, bro.
Yeah, like we saw that one. Who was it? It was against Jacksonville. It was Alec Pierce when he did that like deep, whatever. Why am I drawing a blank? He was wide open over the middle. There was no one around for like 10 yards. And it was like a deep cross or whatever you want to call it. Wide open. Flacco nails him. And I'm like, I don't know if Anthony Richardson makes that throw. Like, just there was no one around.
I mean, at this point, that's not his strength. He's not. And we also talked about he was raw. He's a raw prospect. So there are things that he's still learning from a guy like Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
So maybe who's to say next year he's not out there making these throws? You're like, whoa, who is this guy? But that's because he's sitting there taking notes. Hey, what, Joe, you said this? Okay, cool. I'm going to try that. I have no doubts that he's doing that.
I hope so. I hope he's learning. I hope that he says all the right things. He sounds like he's got the right head on his shoulders. It seems like he's trying to absorb as much information as he can.
Yeah.
Hopefully we start seeing that translate into the game, or he's not just like Jamarcus rustling us and like, oh, I'm the star.
Well, Alex made a good point last episode when he was talking about giving him time, not 6 games, 8 games or whatever, but time could mean multiple seasons, especially with him having the lack of games in the past, whether it be high school, college, what have you. He doesn't have a lot of experience. So I'm with Alex on that. It could take multiple seasons. I mean, we could see, year number 4, and it just boom, he blows up and everything just clicks.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's the case. Of course, as Colts fans, we want that to happen right now. We want that immediate satisfaction. He's our first round pick, all that stuff like that. Well, yes, that's what we're conditioned to think. We're thinking, oh, he's a first rounder. He should be good to go, right? Not always. Sometimes you got to be patient.
Yeah.
So guys like you and me, we've been around this team a long time. We understand that, right? But the casual viewer, they're the ones who need to understand it. Sometimes it does take multiple seasons, man. Sometimes it does. It sucks, but it does. And then they're like, oh, we got a steal on him, And then you're like, yeah, okay, it was worth the wait.
Yeah. You want to win now, and I get it. It's been a long time since the Colts have won the division. I completely understand it. Overall, Flacco probably right now gives us the best chance to win. But what happens if Anthony Richardson does click and shit starts coming together? Let's hope for Sunday. It all starts coming together. And hey, let's say he gets those 60%. Let's say he throws, you said 280 and gets a couple touchdowns. What then? Like all the people that were saying, hey, we need to start Flacco, including myself. I mean, again, I'm one of the people that really wants to see him succeed. I'm not saying he's a bust. It's way too soon to say it.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of fence sitting, I guess. Just would it be better for him to sit behind someone like Flacco? I mean, you can argue that he did it with Minshew, but Minshew isn't Flacco. Flacco won Super Bowl MVP.
It's a weird situation to be in, though, isn't it?
Different.
Like having Flacco, Richardson, like balancing between. It's definitely an odd situation, and it sounds weird that we're talking about that because some teams would love to be in the situation we're in.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot like the Browns right now. They're starting Jameis Winston this week, I think. So like people would love to be in our situation, but with JTN, I gotta lean more the Anthony Richardson side because I like the way that they ran the offense together when they were both in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
But if JT's out, then now I'm leading Joe Flacco because of the arm, man.
Yeah.
So I think it's a situational thing, like if we lose one of our top receivers, knock on that wood real hard, real quick, then okay, boom, Richardson. But that's my point. Like, is this the quarterback based on the personnel, if that makes sense?
Yeah, for sure. And I do like what Flacco has said. Like, they've asked him, it kind of involved him in the controversy. Like, people are saying that you should start over Anthony Richardson. And I mean, of course, he's not going to say, yeah, I should be starting over him. He's not going to say that. But just knowing Joe Flacco, he just seems like a genuine dude where he would, like, he said, like, he's a young guy and people got to remember that. And he's going to make mistakes. He's young. He's learning, and I'm trying to teach him everything I can so that he can improve. And you don't know how much of that they're saying is actually like what's happening. But I tend to lean to believing that because he knows he's not going to be in this league for another 10 years. He knows the next great thing that he can do is help develop the youngest starting quarterback in the NFL. Like if he can be a part of him becoming the next big thing, I think that's just one more notch in that Hall of Fame resume.
Yeah, Joe knows he's not. He wasn't brought in to be the starter. Joe knows that, right? Mm-hmm. No matter how good he did in Cleveland, we see that he's still carrying that over when he's called upon. But he's not out here trying to take over anybody's job. I don't think Joe gives a crap. He's made his money. He's made his mark on history. Like, Joe don't give a shit. He's going to be out here.
Now he's just a guy that he's there because he loves the game. Mm-hmm. He doesn't need it. He doesn't need to be there. He could have said, I don't want a contract. I'm retiring.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to do it. He's doing it because he loves it. He's doing it because he wants to. And he wanted to be here. And I think it was to kind of take that young guy under his wing for a year.
And
he could have just said,
and there's a level of respect you have to give somebody like Joe Flacco. If you're coming here just to do that, just to help the next generation, Joe Flacco, you're the man, bro. Like, there's not a lot of vets out there that are in your position that would say, yeah, I'll stay in the league to come over here and help this young kid to be the future of the NFL, pass the torch, if you will, right? Not to say Joe Flacco was like Peyton Manning or Tom Brady or nothing like that, but still good in his own right. Mm-hmm. But Joe Flacco, I respect the hell out of you for that decision, buddy. And I'm glad you're doing it with our guy. I'm glad it's our guy you're teaching.
I mean, he could have done something to go and chase a ring. He could have. I'm not saying he could have gone to like the Raiders or somebody to, I want to try to make, get one last Super Bowl run in.
Yeah.
He's like, no. I mean, it might have been a lack of contracts, which I don't understand because there's a lot of teams right now that could have benefited from starting a Joe Flacco. So
one thing about that, what if he holds out and he says, hey, I'm going to wait for a quarterback to go down and get a big old fat contract to go play 4 games, 5 games, whatever like that? Because you don't think Miami would be knocking on Joe Flacco's door, burning that phone up?
Oh, yeah.
You don't think Cleveland would be like, hey, Joe, come back. Here's all the money. Take Deshaun's money. He could have easily done that.
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt did it, worked out for him, with the Chiefs, went back home, right? So he could have done that. He didn't. But Joe's a pro. Like you talked about, he says all the right things. And he's a consummate professional.
Yeah. Like, do I want the Colts to win the Super Bowl this year? Every Colts fan does. Like,
fucking A, we do.
Of course we do. But just given how young this team is, how unproven the defense is, he didn't come here thinking, yeah, we're going to win a Super Bowl. He wants to. If you're playing in the NFL, you want to win the Super Bowl. But he didn't come here with the mentality, I'm definitely going to win a Super Bowl with these guys. That's why I'm signing with Indianapolis.
Right,
You
right.
had to no, okay, I'm coming in to be that developmental guy to help this young kid. Like that's why I'm here. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
I love Flacco for that.
yeah, knowing that, hey, this team is on the rise, I want to be part of the reason that they win a Super Bowl in a couple years, or make a deep, deep playoff run. To
Yeah,
say it all stemmed from Joe Flacco
yeah.
taking Richardson under his wing and schooling the young kid.
And
So, like I
honestly,
said,
I
I
hope
respect Joe,
if he
man.
wants to, I hope he stays on another year. I really do. I mean, he signed a 1 year deal. It's looking like he could go at least another year,
Extend
especially
him.
if he doesn't play that much.
Jim,
So
Jim, come on.
just another 1 year deal,
Hmm.
but yeah, let's do some score predictions for this Colts Texans game. What are you thinking, man?
um, so I think our defense is going to hold the Texans to, man, because I'm a Stroud truther, and I haven't been shy about that. I've said multiple times on this show that I think Stroud's just a great quarterback, but our defense is looking pretty good against the secondary lately. So, and with no Nico, I've got to go. I do think Joe's going to get in the end zone at least once.
Hmm.
Mm, man. So, oh man, it's so I got the Colts winning. Okay, I got the Colts winning closely. Okay, I don't think we're gonna have as many points as we had last time, um, but I mean we were able to score to get 27 points. But I think if we win, it's gonna be a lower scoring game. I'm looking at 24 points. Indianapolis, 14 or 17 for Houston. Um, let's go 13, Houston. Let's be
Hmm.
bold.
All right. Yeah, a lot has to be different. They have to keep Mason shut down, which I'm predicting that they'll do, and I'm predicting Latu gets his 3 sacked. Bank on it. I'm saying it here, just saying. But I went on that Real Texas Team podcast and I said the Colts win. I think I said 23-20, and I'm going to stick to it. The last time I said a
I like
prediction,
that.
I changed it, and I had the score right the first time, and I was so pissed off. Like I had it right, I changed it at the last minute on this AFC South show, and I had to stick with what I said last. But I'm not doing that again. I said 23-20, Colts win it. So yeah,
I like that. I like the prediction.
yeah. I'd also like the 24-13. I'd like to keep them low. But yeah, the over under on the game I think was 45 and a half. I think is what the
Okay, so yeah, that's
sportsbook has
you're
it.
right
So
there then.
yeah, I just a little bit under. So I do think the defenses will play a little bit better. I do think the Texans will probably take away Alec Pierce a little bit better than they did in that first game. And
Yeah,
I
not
think the
letting him get
Colts take
behind
away
him. Yeah.
Mixon a little bit better. So I don't think there'll be those big chunks of yards that are going to get ripped off against either team. So
I'd like to see
it's a good
them
game.
bring Stewart in as an additional linebacker to lock up Mixon.
Yeah,
I liked what I saw, man. His pursuit. We talked about the speed, right? He's not an EJ Speed caliber, but he took the right angles and he was there. He was on the
hmm
ball every time. So I like that, and I think
yeah,
you have to use that. But
yeah. And I just remember Joe Mixon he trucked Nick Cross several times in that game. Like he just ran
yeah,
over Nick Cross, and it was yeah. I know he's safety, but like you said, I think what did he have like 17 tackles or something stupid? Grant Stewart
you
had.
talking about Nick? Oh,
No, I'm talking
Stewart.
about yeah Stewart. I think he had like
I
it's
think
hard
it
to
was
remember.
was it 19 total tackles, but like 11 solo. I
Yeah,
think.
but I think it was a total of 18 or something like that. It was
Yeah, something like that. It was a
I
high
hadn't
number.
seen
Yeah.
numbers like that since like Zaire Franklin, prime
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
Like I haven't
Rookie
seen numbers
year,
like that in a
right?
while. So it was nice. But yeah, I agree. If Joe Mixon is kind of doing what he did against us week one, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing more snaps for Stewart just to see him if he can kind of shut down Mixon a little
Mhm.
bit better. But we'll see. All I'm saying is, if it's not working, Gus, change it. And if it is, don't change it.
Yeah.
We'll leave it on that.
Don't just change shit to change shit, you know? Hey,
Yeah.
Shane, that's for you too, bro. Don't
Yeah.
change shit just to change shit.
Yeah, if someone's got the hot hand, Jonathan Taylor, don't all of a sudden start running it with Anthony Richardson. Stick to what's working, dude.
Yeah.
Don't
do
fix it if it ain't broken.
A short Seahawks pass on the goal line for no damn reason after JT's been getting 6 to 8 yards a chunk.
Marshawn Lynch, dumb motherfucker. Anyway.
Stupid.
Stupid ass. But that's a good place to end it, you stupid ass Pete Carroll. All right, so we just hit the 1 hour mark. If you're still here, click the buttons. Click the like, click the subscribe. Please don't click the dislike. Drop us a comment. If you don't agree with us, give us your score predictions. We'll see who got the closest. Yeah, and we'll talk about it on the recap episode after the Colts beat the Texans.
Yeah,
the game. Sure. Make sure you hunt us down. I'll be in this garb every time that I've worn this. The Colts have won.
I'll be rocking the new Dallas Clark jersey that I had on the last episode.
There you go.
So if you see 44 walking, I promise you, there's not going to be another Dallas Clark jersey there. It's me. So
now I might just wear.
Hit me up. Hey King, what's up, bro?
I got Dallas Clark jersey too. I might wear it just to fuck with you now.
Oh, but, fuck you.
Nah, I'm gonna wear this.
It's either that or the Marvin Harrison.
Oh, I'm a little stitchy, so I'm gonna stick to this until they lose.
Yeah. Y'all hit us up on our socials and let us know about any tailgates or anything like that. And I mean, we're looking for a good one, so hit us up, man. Yeah, of course, we prefer a Colts tailgate over a Texans tailgate for obvious reasons.
But yeah, we'll be out there, so we look forward to seeing everybody there. Let's go Colts, and we'll see you on the recap. Hopefully after the Colts victory, man, they need it. Let's go Colts, baby. For the shoe.
Yep. See y'all out there.
See y'all on the recap.